There was a time when I looked in the mirror and just felt frustrated. I was doing everything that I thought was right. I was working out regularly, eating what I believed to be healthy, and still no real change. My energy was low, my mind was foggy, and my body just didn't respond. It felt like something was off, like my body was fighting against me instead of working with me. And that's when I realized maybe it's not about doing more, it's about doing what's right for your body. So I decided to stop copying random online routines and instead started observing my own body, how it reacts to food, to sleep, to stress. I began journaling simple things, what I ate, how I felt after meals, when I felt most energetic, when I felt tired. Within a week, I started noticing patterns. It was like my body had been sending me signals for years, and I just wasn't listening. One of the first things I noticed was how much my mornings affected my entire day. I used to wake up, grab my phone, scroll for 30 minutes, sip on strong coffee, and then rush to start my day. I thought coffee was helping me wake up, but actually it was pushing my body into a stress response. My cortisol was already high in the morning. Adding caffeine on top made it worse. I'd get a short burst of energy, but by noon I'd crash hard. So I decided to change that. Instead of coffee first thing, I began my mornings with something simple, a glass of water with a pinch of pink Himalayan salt. That salt isn't just for taste, it helps balance electrolytes and supports adrenal function. Then I stepped outside for 5-10 minutes to get natural sunlight. That one habit alone started resetting my circadian rhythm. My sleep improved, my mood got better, and for the first time, I felt like my body was awake without caffeine. Then came breathing. We underestimate how powerful breathing can be. Just 2 minutes of deep, slow breathing right after waking up. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. It resets your nervous system. I used to start my mornings with notifications and stress. Now I start with oxygen and calm. It's such a simple change, yet it changes everything. After that, I began adding a short walk. Nothing crazy, just 20 minutes of light movement in a fasted state. No headphones, no distractions, just me and my breath. This one habit transformed how my metabolism worked. I started burning fat more efficiently, my blood sugar became stable, and most importantly, my mind cleared up. I felt present. You see, that morning sunlight, water, and walk, they're not fancy tricks. They're how your body is meant to function naturally. What I discovered was that real transformation doesn't start with supplements or extreme workouts. It starts with rhythm. When your body's natural rhythm, your sleep, your hormones, your meals, your stress levels comes into balance, everything else starts falling into place. The reason most people fail to see results is that they're constantly fighting their body's rhythm. They push too hard, eat too often, stay up too late, and then wonder why their body refuses to cooperate. I stopped chasing quick results and started building small, consistent habits that supported my biology. That's when the viral routine began. It wasn't a trend I picked up from the internet. It was something my own body taught me. Every signal it sent, fatigue, cravings, headaches, was just feedback. Once I started listening, my body started healing. So in those early days, I focused not on what to do, but when and why to do it. I started aligning my actions with my body's clock. That meant eating when I was truly hungry, sleeping when I was tired, and giving myself permission to rest without guilt. It felt strange at first because we live in a world that glorifies constant hustle. But when I slowed down, my body sped up. My metabolism, energy, focus, everything improved. That's when it clicked. Real transformation isn't about intensity, it's about alignment. When you stop forcing your body and start working with it, you don't just change your body, you change your life. This was the beginning of the viral routine that changed everything for me. When I began adjusting my morning habits, everything around my health started shifting. I realized how small habits could create massive effects over time. The biggest breakthrough came when I understood that my morning routine was not just about what I did. It was about how my body responded to the start of each day. Earlier, my mornings were chaotic. I'd wake up late, grab my phone, scroll through messages, and then rush into my day with caffeine and stress. It was like I was waking up my mind but exhausting my body. The problem wasn't that I was lazy, it was that I was disconnected from how the body naturally works. So I decided to make my mornings sacred. I stopped checking my phone right after waking up because that one habit alone spikes stress hormones. Instead, I replaced it with a few minutes of silence, no phone, no music, no distractions. Just breathing deeply and letting my body wake up on its own. This single change lowered my morning anxiety drastically. I noticed my heartbeat was calmer, my thoughts were clearer, and my energy lasted longer throughout the day. Then came the sunlight. We underestimate how powerful sunlight is. When you step out into the early morning light, even for 5 to 10 minutes, it tells your brain It's daytime, time to wake up. Your cortisol, which should be naturally high in the morning, gets balanced. Your melatonin, the sleep hormone, turns off. It sets your entire biological clock. Before, I used to rely on coffee to wake me up. Now my body wakes up naturally, and that's a completely different kind of energy, steady, calm, and focused. After water and sunlight, I added movement, but not intense exercise, just a gentle, fasted walk. No heavy training, no equipment. 20 minutes of slow, intentional walking. At first, I didn't expect much. But within a week, I started feeling lighter and more focused. This kind of low intensity movement in a fasted state teaches your body to burn fat efficiently instead of relying on sugar. I wasn't chasing calorie burn. I was training my metabolism to work smarter. During these walks, I would avoid listening to anything. No podcasts, no music, nothing. I wanted to reconnect with silence. And it's amazing how much you start noticing the rhythm of your breath, the sounds of nature, even your own thoughts. It became a moving meditation. I started to think more clearly, plan my day better, and release unnecessary stress. Most people underestimate how powerful simple walking can be. But for me, it became a secret weapon for mental clarity and fat burning. Then I made one more tweak that changed everything: hydration and minerals. I used to drink plain water, but I learned that when you add a pinch of pink Himalayan salt or trace minerals, you're actually giving your cells what they need to create energy. Most fatigue that people feel in the morning isn't from lack of sleep. It's from dehydration and low electrolytes. Once I fixed that, I didn't need caffeine anymore. My brain felt awake and alert naturally. This routine, hydration, sunlight, breathing, walking, it's so simple, but it's built around how our bodies are designed to function. We are not supposed to shock our system awake with stimulants. We're supposed to activate it gradually in alignment with nature. Every habit in this morning routine supports hormone balance, energy stability, and mental calmness. After a couple of weeks, I noticed something interesting. My cravings reduced. I didn't feel like eating junk food or snacking unnecessarily. That's because when your cortisol and insulin are balanced from the start of the day, your appetite becomes controlled. The body stops screaming for quick sugar fixes because it finally feels safe and nourished. And here's the part most people miss. This isn't just about fitness, it's about physiology. When your morning is chaotic, your hormones stay chaotic the entire day. But when your morning is calm, your body stays in rhythm. That's the secret behind sustainable transformation. I started feeling lighter, sleeping better, and my workouts became more effective. My body began responding differently. The more I respected its natural rhythm, the more it rewarded me. This viral routine wasn't about doing more, it was about doing the right things in the right order. Morning sunlight, mineral water, mindful breathing, and a 20-minute fasted walk, these became the foundation. Simple, doable, and unbelievably effective. My energy felt stable all day, my mood improved, and for the first time in years, I felt truly connected to my body. Once my mornings were under control, I started focusing on what I was putting into my body. I realized that no matter how disciplined my mornings were, if my meals were chaotic, my results would always be limited. For years, I believed that eating small meals every few hours was healthy. I was told that it keeps metabolism active. But the more I studied human physiology, the more I learned how wrong that advice was for me and for most people. Constant eating doesn't speed up your metabolism, it actually slows it down by keeping insulin levels high all day. High insulin means your body can't burn fat efficiently no matter how hard you work out. That's when I decided to experiment with intermittent fasting. At first, it sounded intimidating, skipping breakfast, going hours without food, but I started gradually. I pushed my first meal an hour later each day until I naturally reached about 16 hours of fasting. And what shocked me was that it didn't feel hard. My hunger reduced instead of increasing. My focus improved, and I didn't have that mid-day crash anymore. My body started using stored fat for energy, which felt like unlocking a hidden fuel tank I never knew existed. That's when I understood intermittent fasting isn't starvation, it's alignment. It gives your body time to rest, repair, and reset its hormonal balance. The first few weeks of fasting taught me how emotional eating had become. Many times, I wasn't even hungry. I was just bored, stressed, or reacting to habit. Fasting forced me to separate physical hunger from emotional triggers. It gave me control, and as my body adapted, something amazing happened. My cravings disappeared. The need for sugary snacks The dependence on carbs, it all started fading. My energy became steady and clean, not spiky and unpredictable like before. Then came the quality of food. I stopped chasing calories and started focusing on nutrient density. My meals became simple but powerful: eggs cooked in olive oil, avocados, leafy greens, salmon, nuts, and sometimes a small serving of berries. I started loving real food again. Instead of processed items with labels I couldn't pronounce, I ate things that were grown, not manufactured. And you know what? My body thanked me instantly. My digestion improved, my skin cleared, and the bloating I used to think was normal completely disappeared. I learned something powerful. Your body isn't built on the number of calories you eat. It's built on the quality of what you feed it. When you nourish your body properly, it rewards you by healing faster, thinking clearer, and performing better. Healthy fats became my main source of energy. I stopped fearing them because I realized they're not the enemy sugar and processed carbs are. When your meals are rich in good fats and moderate in protein, your insulin stays stable and your body enters fat burning mode naturally. The other major change I made was cutting out snacking. I used to think snacking kept my metabolism up, but in reality, it was preventing my body from ever entering fat burning mode. Once I switched to 2 solid meals a day, my digestion improved dramatically. No more bloating, no more afternoon fatigue. I had consistent energy that carried me from morning to night. And here's something people don't talk about enough. When you fast, your mental focus sharpens. Your body diverts energy from digestion to the brain. I felt more creative, more productive, and more centered. I could think deeply without distractions or cravings. It felt like my body and mind were finally working together instead of fighting each other. That's when I truly started seeing transformation, not just physically, but mentally too. My relationship with food changed completely. I was no longer chasing the next meal or feeling guilty after eating. I ate when my body needed it, not when the clock told me to. Every meal became an opportunity to nourish myself, not to fill a void. Over time, my body composition changed without extreme workouts or deprivation. My energy was stable, my mood balanced, and I started sleeping deeper. It's amazing how powerful it feels when your body runs on its natural fuel instead of artificial stimulation. This was the stage where I realized that the viral routine wasn't about trends or strict diets. It was about listening to what the body truly needs and honoring that with consistency. Even though my diet and exercise routine had transformed, the biggest changes came when I learned to manage stress and improve my sleep. For the longest time, I underestimated how deeply stress affects every function in the body. You can be eating clean, working out daily, and fasting perfectly. But if you're living in a constant state of stress, your body won't let go of fat, won't repair properly, and won't give you lasting energy. Stress raises cortisol, and high cortisol blocks fat burning, disrupts sleep, and makes you crave junk food. Once I understood that, I made stress management just as important as my workouts. I started by creating a wind down routine at night. Before this, I had a terrible habit of scrolling through my phone until midnight, checking emails, watching videos, and convincing myself I was relaxing. In reality, I was overstimulating my brain. The blue light, the constant notifications, and the mental stimulation were all keeping my mind wired even when my body was exhausted. So I made one simple rule: no screens at least 1 hour before bed. I dimmed the lights, put my phone on airplane mode, and used that time for something calming, stretching, reading, or writing down 3 things I was grateful for. It's amazing how gratitude can shift your entire emotional state. The first few nights felt strange. My mind was restless, wanting that constant stimulation. But after a few days, my body started to relax naturally. I began falling asleep faster and waking up more refreshed. What I realized was that good sleep isn't just about the number of hours, it's about the quality of rest. When you sleep deeply, your body releases growth hormone, the very hormone responsible for fat burning, muscle repair, and anti-aging. It's the body's natural miracle worker. You can't buy it in a supplement bottle. You have to earn it through consistent, deep sleep. I also started focusing on my breathing throughout the day. Most of us breathe shallowly because we're constantly in fight or flight mode. I practiced slow, deep belly breathing whenever I felt stressed or anxious. It sounds small, but it changes everything. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's rest and repair mode. That's when digestion improves, inflammation decreases, and recovery accelerates. I noticed that my cravings for sugar dropped dramatically once I learned to breathe properly. It wasn't magic, it was chemistry. When your stress hormones drop, your body doesn't scream for quick energy anymore. Another key habit I added was walking after meals. It's such a simple thing, but it balances blood sugar levels beautifully. Just 10 minutes of light walking after eating improves insulin sensitivity and helps digestion. Instead of sitting on the couch or jumping straight back to work, I'd take a relaxed walk around my neighborhood. It became a quiet, reflective part of my day. These small stress-reducing habits started compounding, and I could feel my body changing from the inside out. I also became more mindful about mental stress. Sometimes it's not physical workload that drains us, it's the emotional pressure we carry silently. I learned to let go of things I couldn't control, to slow down, and to prioritize peace over perfection. Meditation helped, but even 5 minutes of silence each day can reset your nervous system. I stopped chasing constant productivity and started valuing recovery. Because transformation doesn't happen in the gym, it happens when you rest, when your body is calm enough to repair and rebuild. Over time, these peaceful habits became part of who I was. My body composition continued to improve, but more importantly, I felt truly alive. My mind was sharp, my energy steady, and my emotions balanced. I realized that real health isn't just the absence of illness, it's harmony between body, mind, and environment. The viral routine wasn't about copying someone else's life, it was about creating a lifestyle that worked for my biology and my peace of mind. Now, when people ask me what my secret is, I tell them this: I stopped fighting my body and started listening to it. I gave it sunlight, real food, deep rest and gratitude, and in return, it gave me energy, clarity, and strength. It's not about perfection, it's about rhythm. When you live in sync with how your body is designed to function, transformation stops being a struggle and becomes a natural outcome. That is what truly changed my body and my life.